why I try to avoid arguments at all costs. Unless I really have to, then I'll argue. But most of the time, I just don't argue with people. I try not to. Even though sometimes I do, I'm not perfect and I still have to work on that. But I try my best to avoid arguments. I don't want to, because first of all, it's no point. There's no point in arguing. Like, if you want to argue that you're better than someone, there's no point doing it. There's no point arguing it. If you're really better than someone, people would see it. People would know. You don't have to argue your point. You don't have to say, "Oh, I'm this, I'm that," to prove that you're someone. If you're really someone, you would do it with your actions. Your actions will speak louder than your words. And yeah, that's the main point. Your action determines everything. You don't have to argue it unless like your family depends on you to argue with this person, then by all means argue. But no, but most of the time, especially in the world we live in, people want to feel that they're right. And sometimes you just have to give them that feeling. I'll just give people that feeling because I don't put that much value into me being right. I don't have to be right. I don't have to be right. Some people have different opinions. And it's okay if this person thinks that I'm wrong. I'll be like, okay, yeah, I might be wrong. Yeah, you're right. I might be wrong. What can I learn from you? Because it all comes down to learning, I guess, for me. Like, hey, when someone says I'm wrong, I'll be like, yeah. I wouldn't completely say like, oh, he's right, definitely right. I'm gonna follow everything he says because you still have to balance. You still have to have your own thinking. I'll be like, okay, he thinks I'm wrong. I might be wrong. I probably might be wrong. What can I learn from him? You know, you gotta think that way. You can't be like emotional. Like, what does he think I'm wrong? Uh, I'm definitely not wrong. Because most people, when you say they're wrong, they'll be like, no, they'll be defensive. They'll try to defend their point. They'll be like, no, I'm not wrong. And they'll do their best to justify everything they're doing just to prove to you that they're not wrong. Because most people they don't want to be at fault. For me, I don't really give a fuck. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want any trouble. I don't need to win a small battle. I choose my battles. The battles that really fucking matter, I'll fight it if it really matters. But for the most part, right now, like most arguments, I'll gladly lose to you. Because there's no point of me arguing to prove that I'm right. There's no point. Literally no point. But who knows? I might change. I'm turning 20 this October, and I still have a lot of things to learn. And I might change as a person. You never know. So yeah, I'm still learning. I'm still on a journey. Still on the journey of being a student of life. I'm still learning from people, from experiences in my life. I'm learning from everybody. Everybody is a book to me, and I'm reading every book. There's books to read everywhere. Literally everywhere. You don't need physical books anymore. You read people. People are books, and you learn a lot from people. You learn a lot from life. So it's really how you look at it. And yeah, I hope I argue less this year. I hope I argue less next year. And I hope when I'm old, when I'm 80 or 90, when I'm 100, that I don't argue with anyone. I just prove in my actions and show that I am who I say I am by having that stack of undeniable proof that I am who I say I am. And at that point, I don't need to argue anymore. People will see by the evidence that I am who I say I am. There is no need to argue. Just show.